Chairman of Bangalore Center of Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, Shri Srikant Channal sir. President Marketing Ramco Cements Limited, Shri Jay Kumar sir. Secretary Bangalore Center, Mr. Ajit Kumar. Treasurer Shashidhar, all the other dignitaries on the dais, and I can see a lot of dignitaries off the dais also. Maybe that this hall is full of the achievers, and it's my honor, it's my pleasure, Srikant sir, giving me this opportunity to be a part of this auspicious function, because as you said, this program is being organized to commemorate the birthday celebration of Sir M. Visvesvaraya sir, the great eminent personality which this state of Karnataka and this country has produced. Dear friends, I know that today in this hall is full of engineers, and majority of them are civil engineers. This year we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. In the last 75 years of our independence, our country has developed like anything. Leaving the politics aside, after the independence, subsequent governments have contributed to the development of the country, development of the society, which has changed the life of many people. But one thing is extremely important, that a segment of the society which has contributed in achieving all this is the society of engineers, and especially the civil engineers, because initially the engineering means civil engineering. There was no other engineering. There was other two engineering definitely was there, electrical and mechanical. But the highest in that among was the civil engineering. And I am very proud to share with you that I belong to a family where most of the people are engineers. So I can say that engineering in the blood, and I can understand the happiness of this day. I always feel that what was so special in Sir M. Visvesvaraya that we are celebrating his birthday today. It's not that he was the first engineer of this country. This country has contributed a lot in science, and the best example is the oldest civilization of Mohenjo-daro, where the entire urban planning and the construction of the building and all, which was definitely done by an engineer. It cannot be done any other than engineer. But what is so special about him, that he is kept as this pedestal. And one thing I always feel, that what was so important in him was the commitment and zeal, which is missing at this point of time. In fact, when I was invited for this program, I thought, let me study a little bit more about him. And I was going through YouTube, and one of the incident, one person was explaining that how in his college days, he traveled for almost about 45 kilometers from Bangalore to his native place to bring the fees to pay so that he could appear for the examination. Maybe that kind of zeal and commitment is missing at this point of time. And when he came back to the exam center, the head of the exam center refused to allow him to appear for the examination, that you are late. And he sat on dharna then and there itself. And the invigilator of the examination, he finally told that, no, this boy has to be permitted to write the examination, just because the sheer pain which he has taken, traveling 45 kilometers by foot and coming back 45 kilometers on foot. So that is the kind of commitment which is required if you want to be successful in life. The other very important thing about him was that he was never limited to his own field of specialization. So if you go through his history, the kind of contribution which he has made, it is not only in the field of civil engineering. It is surprising that a civil engineer has participated such an important role in the financial sector, in establishment of the banking, in establishment of the other organization. And he achieved a great thing at that point of time, that he was honored with the title of sir, which was so rare at that point of time. So hats off to such a great personality which our Bharat Mata has produced. But we have seen a long journey of civil engineering. I don't want to talk about the other engineering because I am not a civil engineer. So it has gone through a lot of a very, very tiring, very, very difficult journey. And I was seeing the presentation being given by Mohan sir, an extremely impressive presentation, not only for the work which he did, but also the tool which he has used for the presentation, equally important. And I suddenly realized that the engineers are playing three important roles. So, three important roles of gods we are playing on this earth. One is the Brahma, who created that building. Another is the Vishnu, who maintained that building for so many years. And finally, the Mahesh, who came and destroyed. So, why I am saying this thing, that you go to any walk of life, this engineering is present. And I will go a step ahead to say that every person who is living on this earth is having an engineer sitting in his mind. We might have heard a lot about the Jugaad system. Jugaad is less in South India, but if you go to North India, everything runs on Jugaad only. And this Jugaad is nothing but engineering. So we cannot laugh on this Jugaad. It is the application of scientific principle that person is doing. So the engineers are playing an extremely important role, but day by day the things are becoming extremely complex. A simple civil engineering at one point of time, now it has so many branches. So we have architect which has branched out from the engineering. We have a structural designing in that. We have people who are in the architectural work. So different kind of branches of the civil engineering has just started. And that is the beauty of this engineering. Although it has happened in every segment, and parallelly, a lot of other engineerings have evolved, maybe electrical engineering, electronics engineering, information technology, our artificial intelligence. And we have come to a stage that at this point of time, only one type of engineer cannot be able to do the kind of infrastructure that we need at this point of time. So we need a civil engineer, we need an electrical engineer. To construct this building, we need a lot of machinery, for which we need mechanical engineer. A lot of buildings are coming which are working on the artificial intelligence, your IoT system. So we have come to a point that we have started from one civil engineering, and today we have reached to a situation where unless all the engineering type come together, it is very difficult to create any kind of infrastructure that we are seeing in Bangalore. Now, urbanization, we all know, it's a kind of blessing for us also, but at the kind of curse also on that. Because I don't know how many people have traveled on boat in Bangalore. It was a very rare sight. But urbanization has its own flip side. And why it is happening, that is very important. And definitely, in addition to the engineers who are creating this society, who are creating this nation, there are two more branches, and rather one branch is of the politicians, and the other branch is people like administrator, which I am standing here. And whatever mess which is happening in Bangalore today, I will never blame the engineers for that, because as Mohan sir told, that I did the job which I was asked to do. But the extremely important thing is that, who asked him to do that job? It is people like me, it is people like who is absent today with Prime Minister is in Himachal Pradesh. So, but the irony of the life is that if something goes wrong, the people who are in trouble, the cases which are booked against the people are the engineers. We always go scot-free. Maybe that nowadays that culture is changing. Many of us are also going behind the bar and many of other types are also going behind the bar. But it's very, very rare. And this is what we have to understand, that if anything is going in the system, we all as a society are responsible for that. The things have changed. The things have changed. It is not the same time which was earlier when you were working with the free hand. Right now, you're not working as a free hand. Right now, there's so much of push and pull factor for an engineer to work in the system, whether it is private industry or whether it is government sector. And I will say the government sector is the worst, because the engineers who are working in the government sector, I always feel that how they are sustaining. At one hand, they are under tremendous pressure of the people who wants to achieve the target, and at another end, there are people at the ground level who will never allow you to achieve the excellence. I'm not saying that engineers are sannyasi or engineers are saint or that kind of thing. There are mistakes from the engineer side also. But we are all working in a very, very difficult scenario. And I'm so happy to see today that among us, there are two eminent personalities, the Umesh sir and Garuda sir, who are the founding member of this association. And they are so fit. In spite of doing an engineering job, they are so fit. I'm really surprised. And the only reason which I can feel that how he is keeping himself fit, that he must be following a very good discipline in his life. When I say discipline, it is not only about discipline about going and doing the exercising, but other things also. Your good habits, your bad habits, and all those things. So one has to maintain the balance. There's no second thought about it. But one thing extremely important is you have to spend time on yourself. Sometimes we become so busy. I have seen the life of engineers, like 5 o'clock morning, like my metro work is going on. Once I was told, sir, please come and see how the gutters are lifted and put on the top of the pier. I agreed. I was awake till 12 o'clock, but I kept on getting the message, sir, innu solpa time beku, sir, innu solpa 1 hour beku, 1 hour beku. I waited till 2 o'clock and then I told them, okay, fine, Baba, next time bartivi, isala barlike agalla, okay. I went to sleep. And morning I saw the video that my engineers were standing on the ground whole night. The contractor was standing on the ground whole night, sacrificing his sleep and creating something which is required for the society. So that is the kind of life that engineers are going through, and especially the civil engineers. This may not be true in case of a computer engineer or something like that, but in case of civil engineer, so they are giving their sweat and blood. But unfortunately, the society is not giving the type of respect which is supposed to be given to the engineers. Maybe that mistake may be from our side also, mistake may be from the civil society side also, but I personally feel that the kind of respect which the engineering fraternity is required to be given, our society is not being given. Everywhere, and especially if you are working in a government department, then very difficult to face the public. So you have to face the public also, you have to face the politician also, you have to face bureaucrats like me also, but you have to perform. Fortunately, I got the opportunity to work in departments which are highly engineering-oriented department. So I was working in major irrigation, I worked in the Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board, I worked in the BMTC, which is not civil engineering, but a mechanical engineering, and Today I am working in metro, which is again pure the civil engineering art. I never thought that we have progressed so much in our country. In fact, I would like to share one incident with you that in 2002 I went to Japan. And I was in Tokyo for about a 1 month time. And I saw all these lifters which are put, the crane and all those things. And I was thinking that what a progress this country has made, that wherever the construction is going on, there is a lifting machine right on the top of the floor. I don't know whether I'll be able to see the similar kind of scene in my country or not. And you will not believe, within 2 to 3 years, coming back to India, I saw that the similar kind of machines are coming in Bangalore. What I'm trying to say that as far as the technology is concerned, it is freely available. And the kind of technology which is being used, it's mind-blowing. In fact, about 15 days back, I got a phone call. Sir, ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬಹಳ ಭಯ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. I asked him, ಏನಪ್ಪ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಯಾಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಭಯ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಈಗ ಮೆಟ್ರೋದು ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಏನು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಭಾಳ ಕಳಪೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿದು ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್, ಅದು ಭಾಳ ನೇರವಾಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಫೇಜ್ 1ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಭಾಳ ದಪ್ಪ ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್, ಅದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಭಾಳ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಮೆಟ್ರೋಗೆ ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಈಗ ನೀವೇನು ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಹೆದರಿಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ. Are you sure that you are doing the right thing? I also got a little bit worried because I immediately called my director project, Radhakrishna Reddy, very fine engineer, and I asked him, Radhakrishna Reddy, I have one doubt in my mind, and that is a doubt a lot of people in Bangalore are having, that we are doing a very narrow kind of pillar and earlier pillars are so. So are you sure that we are safe on the metro? Then he explained to me that, sir, how the quality of concrete has changed, how the technology has changed. And then I again called back that person. I took his number. I told that, okay, fine, I'll find out and come back to you. And I told him that, look, ನಿಮಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಂಶಯ ಇದ್ದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸ್ಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನು ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಬಹುಶಃ ಈ ಹೊಸ ಪಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೋರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ದೆನ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. Another very important thing which I would like to share with you, that we are working on the outer ring road today, from the Central Silk Board up to KR Puram, and the line is going up to airport. When we say that we'll be completing this project by December 2024, many people say that sumne metro hengene matadtare. 2011 ಗೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಮೆಟ್ರೋ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Finally 2017 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಟ್ರೋ ಬಂತು. The phase 2 was supposed to be completed in 2017-18 itself. Till now the phase 2 has not been completed. But I tell them very confidently, because now I know that the kind of technology which we are using in the new metro construction, it is totally different. And the kind of time which I am saving with the prefab material. I cannot imagine that 26-meter, 30-meter U-gutter is precasted and then lifted and put on the top of the pier within no time. My pile cap, a precast pile cap or the precast crossbar and all those things, these are all prefabrication, and it is saving a lot of time. So the technology is evolving and evolving every day, but unfortunately many of our colleagues, why I'm saying colleague, because I'm also an engineer basically, so the engineer is inside me, so I consider myself more as an engineer than the bureaucrat. That once we get a job, we forget about what is new development is happening, and especially in the people who are in the government department, because private sector, yes, you have to keep in touch with the new technology, new development which is happening, but the people who are in the government sector, the moment they get a job of assistant engineer or AEEO, that is the end of the life. My request to all of you, that whichever sector you are doing, whatever job you are doing, please develop the habit of reading and updating. Yes, updating, and there's so much of material which is available on the net today. And what is happening in government department, that we have become completely consultant dependent. Nothing against the consultant who are working in the sector. They are doing a fantastic job, but many of the time I have seen many of the consultants who believe more in cut and paste. I have seen personally. So, but our people have become so dependent, and I think the policy makers are also responsible for that, because we have virtually killed the designing wing in each and every department. At one point of time, PWD was having a very, very strong design wing, and the kind of people who are working today, we don't have. As of now, if I want to get an in-house bridge design done, it is not possible. I have to go for hiring of a consultant. The second thing is that the development which has happened in the IT sector. In fact, I remember when I was doing my engineering from IIT Delhi, my colleagues from the civil engineering side, they were working on computer and utilizing many tools to design or to do the structural designing. And many other people were solving the matrix and all those things. I used to ask them, boss, kar kya rahe ho? Is this the engineering? This is mathematics. Bole, nahi guru, wait karo 20 saal ka, then you will see what is the magic of this. And today I am saying that you put the data inside the computer and your design is ready. And it is solving the complex problem, and it is solving and saving the money. I just want to share with you one more incident that you must have seen the R5 line which is going on, which starts from the Bomsandra and go to the RV road. Many of you who are working closely with the BMRCL might be knowing that very fine hair crack developed in the pier cap. Although it is permissible hair crack, nothing is going to happen, and there's a lot of debate on that, whether we should rectify it, whether we should take measure to rectify it, or just forget about it and go ahead. But ultimately it was decided that no, we should do something. We should do something to arrest, because we don't know how it is going to behave in the future. And I was surprised that the final solution was to put a carbon fiber band all across it. And when I saw that carbon fiber, I was shocked that this carbon fiber is providing the strength which may be 20, 30 times more than what is the normal steel provide. So the kind of materials which has come in the market, the kind of research which is going in the market, my request to all of you, please keep knowledge about these materials which are coming in the market. Why I'm saying that many of you are working in a very high position in the government department. When you are interacting with the consultant, you should also have the knowledge. You should not simply give the task to them and whatever they give and you accept it. So we have to make ourselves to that level. Now, many challenges are being faced, especially in the civil engineering when we are going for the high-rise building. In fact, I was so happy today that earlier I used to see in Bangalore big building which Jai Shankar has created. Has he gone? Okay. I always feel scared. Even today, I cannot stay in the flat. I have that fear that I don't know whether it will collapse. I don't know whether it will collapse. But today, after seeing Mohan Saab's presentation, I realized that no, it is not so easy for the building to collapse. You have to put a lot of dynamite inside to bring it down. And in spite of that, 3 floors you cannot blast. It can come down straight. But there are related issues in that, and that issue is of the sustainability, which somebody was talking about that sustainability. There is an issue of environment. If you see in any city, whether it is Delhi, whether it is Bangalore, whether it is Bombay, the highest pollution, I'm talking about the suspended particular pollution which is created today. Yes, of course, one is the transport sector because of the bad maintenance of the engine, but the other one very big contributor to this whole thing is the constructions which is going in the city. And it is all because of neglect, I can say. It is not so difficult to control the dust when the construction is going on. But very few people are following those norms which are prescribed, which is compromising with health of the people and especially the children. So my request to all of you who are in the construction business, when you are doing the construction, when you are doing the infrastructure work, please take care of these things. Another very important thing which I want to share is the quality of the work. especially in the government sector. I always feel that to save 5%, 4% money, we spoil 96%, 97%. So when you, especially the engineers who are in the government sector, please keep this in focus that this is the money which is coming from the taxpayer money and you are a part of that. So please don't compromise on the quality. That is another thing which I would like to tell. And to the private companies also, that you also have to be very vigilant from your side. And there's one organization called BMRCL, where I'm so impressed the way the quality is maintained and the way things are refused. Nobody can pressurize you beyond a point if you are ready to leave your place. Especially the people working in the government department. What is the biggest fear? The biggest fear that nಮಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಶಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಹಾಕ್ಲಿ. If everybody starts behaving in that function, definitely the system will improve. But we all have to come together. But we know the system today. If one person is working as head of the PWD, there are at least 20 people who want to pull him from there and go and sit on that chair. So those kind of competition is happening. So please take care of the pollution, because we always get a very bad name when the construction work is going on. So environmental is one issue which is extremely important. We are talking about achieving, our Pradhan Mantri is talking about achieving the 5 trillion economy. And I know that if this target has to be achieved, the sector which is going to majorly contribute to this achievement is the infrastructure sector. It may be airport, it may be port, it may be roads, or whatever. That is a sector which is going to provide that thing, and it is the biggest employment provider also in the system. So when you are providing the employment, I always have come across many of the civil engineers, bright children, after passing, they are running around for the job. At least accommodate them, if not as a regular employee of the company, at least as an internship. Pay some token money to them so that at least they are not running around and wasting their time. They can contribute in some or other way. That's a big, because over a period of time, there's so many engineering colleges have come up. And there is a fashion in the society that namma maga, namma daughter engineering ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. And they don't realize that what kind of engineering college. I'm not saying that every engineering college is bad, but I have come across the colleges where there's hardly anything. No teacher, no lab, but still the courses are running. So one has to be very, very careful that what kind of engineering that my child is doing. And I also request all the private sector people who are sitting here that please take care of them. That's extremely important. Another very important sector is the retrofitting sector. And a lot of new technology has come up with the retrofitting. So before doing anything to the old building, because this is the biggest challenge for the, when I was in the irrigation department, the biggest challenge which I was facing, all the dams which have been constructed in Karnataka, they're all getting old. What is the future of those dams? Are we going to demolish that dams and going to reconstruct it? Not possible. Same place we cannot do it. We have to look for the retrofitting of those bridges, those dams, how we can re-strengthen those things. And a lot of research is happening on that. And I have seen that the Almaty Dam, which was in a very, very bad condition, after doing the, what you call that, pouring from the drilling and pouring, I was surprised at how it will go so inside. And, pardon? Grouting, yes. I'm not a civil engineer. I don't remember these terms and all. I only know AC and DC. Not talking about the revenue department, AC and DC. They're very bad people, okay? I'm not talking about those AC and DC. I know. So a lot of things are there to learn, and it's a fantastic gathering. So many of you are here. The young generation, there is old generation. Please interact with them, because I always feel that both are equally important, because the older generation are carrying the experience with them, they are carrying the knowledge with them. In fact, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೆಟ್ರೋಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, Muduk Auru organization. Reason is that most of the people who are at the top level in Bangalore Metro, they are all retired people. And we prefer to take them. The simple reason is that they have that experience. And nothing is as important as the experience. But at the same time, we maintain a huge size of the engineers who are completely fresh. So when these two energy come together, the experience and the commitment and that thing, then the system move, then the country will progress. And I'm so happy today that the association has recognized the great performance done by our student, and I want to congratulate all of you that you people are the real achiever of the society. You have given your best possible to come to this level. All my good wishes with you that you be great people, successful people, and come and sit here after 20 years and 30 years. At the same time, I felt so happy that you felicitated 5 important people of Bangalore from the different sector, from the academic sector, from the developer side. The recognition is extremely important. If a person does not get the recognition, he gets demoralized. So you have done a great job today, I can tell you that, especially by calling the children, and I never got that opportunity that I'm invited to some function and given the bouquet and that kind of felicitation. These children are very lucky and they have come to that level with their own great effort. So thanks to them, thanks to their parents who have taken, because I always feel that the role of parents is extremely important. I should not share, this is not the occasion to share with you or to boost myself or to boast myself, but I also have a son and a daughter, and both are again engineers. One is already engineer, my daughter is already engineer from IIT Ropar, and my son is going to get admission in IIT Hyderabad. So the role of teacher and parents is extremely important. So all the people who are sitting here, especially the people whose children are not yet settled, please focus on the education of the children, and the people, the kind of segment which we are coming is facing and is going to face a big challenge in the future, that once you become old, maybe after 60, 65, none of your children are going to stay with you. That's becoming the fact of the life. Because it's a big dilemma, what to do. Your children are in US, or if not US, in some other part of the country, and they don't have time to spend with you. And we should not expect also. We should not expect also. So the generation where many of people who are sitting in the hall, and I also joined that generation maybe after 10 years or 15 years, that's the biggest challenge, and this is the time we have to develop some hobbies. This is the time we have to start doing some kind of social work, so that once we retire from the service, we are not dependent upon anybody to have a good life after retirement, because the medical has developed so much. The people are living till 100 years, 105 years in a very good health condition. So we have to make ourselves ready from this point itself. And I will always suggest that if you have some spare money with you, please do something for a assisted residence also. In Bangalore, that is the emerging sector where a lot of buildings and apartments are coming, 2-bedroom apartment. And they have given a very good name also, assisted living. So those are requirements of the society, and maybe that we have to change as per that, and we have to keep that in mind, and we have to start working on from now itself. There's a lot of things to talk, like I just want to touch one more thing which is extremely important, that is the urban planning. And without the urban planning, the infrastructure is meaningless. And the way we have misused, I don't have any hesitation in saying that the way we have misused the urban planning in our country, and in Bangalore also, I don't think any other country in the world go to that extent. And I'm talking about the rich people. On the first opportunity, they will go and violate the entire building plan approval which is given. What we saw today is not a house of a poor chap. It's somebody who has colluded, the system has colluded, created that whole additional floor or whatever, and which has put so many people in the trouble. So one important thing is the urban planning. That is one thing which is very, very weak in our department, in government. Very few people who are working in the urban planning sector also. Most of the people, they are working in the construction. We have to go for a long, long journey as far as the urban planning is concerned. The things are changing, and maybe that in future we'll be more and more ruthless in the enforcement of the urban planning, because I don't believe in a building coming and then going and demolishing it. If the building has come up, somebody is responsible for that. But as I told you, unfortunately, the people who have allowed that building to come up are never punished. It is only the people who have bought those buildings are punished. So I will stop here because the time is running and many people must be feeling hungry also. And once again, I would like to thank Srikant Saab and all the members of the association giving me this opportunity. This is one program which I never miss. Let me tell you, if anybody comes and tell me that, sir, please come on the Engineers Day, I definitely go for this, because my father is an engineer, I am an engineer, and my children are engineers. Thank you very much.